In today's video, I'm going to show you how to calculate and track your macros so you can lose more fat, gain more muscle, and hit your goals quicker and more effectively. Whether you're completely new to macro tracking or you just want to get better results from your nutrition plan, I'm going to walk you through everything step by step. Let's get into it. Now, before I show you how to calculate and track your macros, let's quickly break down what macro tracking actually is. Macros are short for macronutrients. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fat, the large components of our food, the primary nutrients that supply calories. Each macronutrient plays a different role in your diet. Protein, for example, helps you maintain and build new muscle. But beyond their functions in the body, all three macronutrients are going to have calories, which are going to ultimately decide, especially from a food perspective, if you gain weight, lose weight, or maintain your body weight. The macronutrients supply different levels of calories depending on the source. So both protein and carbohydrates will have 4 calories per gram, where fat is going to have more calories or be more dense with around 9 calories per gram of that macronutrient. Now, when it comes to losing weight, the most important factor is going to be staying in a calorie deficit, which means you are burning more calories than you're taking in. So if you want results from a fat loss diet, you need to be mindful of this. And technically, you could just track the calories that you eat and lose weight as long as you stay in a calorie deficit. But here's the problem. Not all calories are created equal, or more specifically, the calories are equal, but where you get them from, the sources, are going to have a different impact on your body. So it's important that we get closer to those. If you're focusing only on calories and not food quality or the macro balance, you risk losing muscle and becoming a smaller version of yourself, which you don't want, because it can also slow down your metabolism. But you're also going to be hungrier and have a harder time sticking to your diet long term, long enough to actually see results. And this is where macro tracking comes in. Instead of just focusing on a calorie target or a calorie goal, you're allocating those calories to a macronutrient target or a macronutrient goal so you can get leaner, keep all of your muscle, and stay more focused on your results. While tracking your calories can help you lose weight, tracking your macros is going to determine where that weight comes from and get you better results. Now that you know why tracking macros is so helpful, let's help you calculate your macronutrients so you can set up these targets for yourself and start tracking your own macros. Number 1, set up your calorie target. The first step to calculating your macronutrient targets is going to be setting up a daily calorie target to help you lose weight. If you think about this from a financial perspective, this would be all the money you're allowed to spend, not where you're spending this money on. It's the checks and balances of the equation. Now, there are a lot of ways to determine your daily calorie target. Some are much more accurate, like tracking your intake over time to see what you're actually doing to find your true maintenance calories when your body weight doesn't change, or more quicker estimates like using online formulas and calculators. Now, if you already know your macro targets and don't need any more information on how to set them, feel free to skip to right here in this part of the video where I show you how to track. Now, for this video, I'm going to give you a simple formula to determine your calorie goal so you can get started tracking right away. And here's the formula. I'm also going to set this up in both pounds of body weight as well as kilograms of body weight. So regardless of where you are in the world, this is going to make sense. So you can take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 12 to get your daily calorie deficit target. Or you take your body weight in kilograms and multiply it by 27. This is going to give you a solid starting point or estimate for the amount of calories you should be consuming on a daily basis to be in a calorie deficit. Now, setting this level will take some trial and error and a little bit of time figuring it out, depending on your own experience and level of knowledge around calorie and macronutrient tracking, as well as your own individual body. Everybody's different. And once you know your calorie goal, you can start to determine where those calories come from by setting macronutrient targets. Number 2, set your protein goal, which is going to be the most important macronutrient for fat loss. Protein is the most important macronutrient for fat loss because it helps you keep fuller for longer, maintain the muscle that you already do have, as well as supports your metabolism. So for fat loss, aiming for anywhere between 0.6 to 1.1 grams of protein per pound of body weight is a good starting place. This is going to be between 1.3 to 2.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For this, you're going to take your current body weight, multiply it by the protein target to get your protein goal. Now, if you were my nutrition client, I'd like to get a sense of what you're currently eating for protein by doing some tracking. Use that as a number and kind of compare it to this optimal range but this is a good starting place. Now, for example, if you weighed 150 pounds, we take that and multiply it by 0.8. And this would give you a protein target of 120 grams per day. You want to set a starting target somewhere within that range. Since each gram of protein is going to have 4 calories, you can take those 4 calories and multiply it by 120 grams, and that's going to give you 480 calories overall. Since each gram of protein is going to have around 4 calories and you're eating 120 grams, you're going to have 480 calories in your diet coming from protein. You're going to take these number of calories, subtract it from the total calories, and use that number to fill the remainder for carbohydrates and fat. Now, I know there's a wide range for how much protein you should be consuming. If you're just getting started, start on the lower end of that range and adjust through time. Step number 3, set your fat and carb targets. Next, you're going to allocate the rest of your remaining calories to carbohydrates or fat. Now, there's no perfect ratio here. You can set these targets and then adjust based on what feels best for you and your preferences. As long as you're hitting your protein and overall calorie goal, that's what's going to matter most. But here are generally the recommended ranges for both fat and carbohydrate. So for dietary fat, you should be consuming anywhere between 0.4 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight, which is 0.8 to 1.2 grams of fat per kilogram of body weight. And for carbohydrate, this is going to be anywhere between 1.0 to 2.0 grams of carbohydrate per pound of body weight, or 2.0 to 3.0 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight. So again, going back to our example here, let's say you weigh 150 pounds. For your fat, you would take your body weight, 150 pounds, and multiply it by 0.4. And this is going to give you 60 grams of fat. So that 60 grams of fat is going to be your fat target for the day. And since fat supplies 9 calories per every gram of fat, you take that 9, multiply it by 60, and you have 540 calories coming from fat in the diet. Then to set your carbs, you're going to allocate the remainder of the calories that you have left over for your carb target. So you take your total calories, subtract off your protein calories, subtract off your fat calories, which was 1,800 minus 540 minus 480 equals 780 calories left for carbs. You divide that by 4, and you have a carb target of around 195 grams per day. Now, your macro targets aren't set in stone, and it's good to get an idea of what you normally eat before you set these targets, because again, the ranges are wide, and they should be based on personal preference and what makes you feel best. But you can adjust these through time based on the results and how you feel. Now, if you're not losing weight through time, it could be that your overall calories are too high, but it also could be the macronutrients. So reduce carbohydrates and fat while trying to keep your protein on the higher end of the things or the same. Or if your energy or hunger levels are an issue while you're dieting, make some adjustments to those based on how you feel so you can continue to make progress. Next up, we have how to actually track your macros. Okay, now you have macro targets set up. How do you work towards tracking and hitting those targets? At first, tracking your macros can seem somewhat complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like any other skill. You need some practice, and it's going to be one of the best ways to reach your results. So it's a skill worth having. Here's how to get started. Step number 1, use a food tracking app. The easiest way to track your macros is by using a food tracking app. Sure, you could manually track your macros by reading every food label and manually journaling or writing everything down and taking those numbers and adding them all together. But these days, there are many free and paid apps to do all the heavy lifting for you. On screen, you're gonna see my top picks for macro tracking apps. These are Macros First, Macro Factor, MyFitnessPal Premium, and Chronometer. These apps have huge databases and are going to automatically track and calculate your macros as you log your food. That's essentially what we're doing, is keeping a food log and turning it into numbers. Once you have the app you want to use, tracking is simple. You're going to input the food that you're eating, as well as the serving size, and boom, you're done. The app is going to keep track of your calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fat as you eat, so you know exactly where you are in the day, working towards your overall daily targets. And since you know where you are, you know what you'll have remaining, so you can make food choices that help you stay on track. Step 2, use a food scale for accuracy. To get the best results possible, I would recommend you use a food scale, especially at the beginning when you're just getting used to food tracking. Portion sizes can be tricky, And most people are going to underestimate how much total food they're eating, which is going to throw off your results. And using a food scale and weighing out what you're eating is going to make the entire process much more accurate. So you can feel confident that you're actually hitting your macros. If you want a detailed tutorial on how to actually use a food scale and track your food intake, click right here. But next up, we're going to have step 3, review and adjust. Don't just log your food and then forget about it. Use it as a tool to learn more about what you're eating and working towards a result. At the end of the day or the week, take a look back and look at your macro totals. Did you hit your protein goal? Were your carbs and fats more balanced? Do you need to adjust anything based on your results? By reviewing your numbers, you're going to start to see patterns, which are going to make it easier to adjust and see results and be consistent through time. Now that you know how to track your macros, let me give you some pro tips to make this entire process easier, less stressful, and maybe even more fun. Pro tip number 1, pre-track your meals. It's common to track reactively, which means you track your food after you eat it and adjust as you go. But if you want to make tracking even easier, start pre-tracking your meals before you eat or even the night before. Think of it more like a flexible meal plan, but that's a meal plan that you control. By planning ahead, you'll know exactly what to eat to hit your macros, so you're not going to be figuring it out on the fly. It helps you prevent situations where at the end of the day, you still have to eat 40 grams of protein, but you have no fat left. By pre-tracking, you're going to know your day is on track before it even starts. Pro tip number 2, meal planning makes everything easier. If you're tracking your macros, you don't need to meal prep every single meal, but having a few go-to meals that are higher in protein and balanced in the other macronutrients is going to make the entire process easier. Start by choosing 2 to 3 macro-friendly meals that you enjoy and rotate them through the week, both at lunch and dinner. To save time, you can batch cook proteins like chicken, beef, or tofu, so you already have the base of your meal and something to work around. And keep staple foods on hand, like rice and oatmeal and vegetables. This is going to make it easier to throw together a simple meal without having to overthink it. When you have a game plan in place and you're prepared, you're less likely to have to make those last-minute decisions that throw everything off, and it's going to be easier to stick to your plan. Pro tip number 3, track food correctly, especially cooked versus uncooked. Tracking food correctly is important, especially when it comes to foods like meat, rice, and pasta, because there's going to be a big difference between how you track them when they're cooked and when they're raw. Things change when they're being cooked. Most nutrition labels are going to list a food in their uncooked version, but that's not how you eat it. So if you're logging cooked food, you need to adjust for the moisture content, especially when some foods are going to gain water as they're cooked and others will lose it. For example, 4 ounces of raw chicken is going to end up being around 3 ounces when it's cooked. Going to lose water through the cooking process depending on how you cook it. And 1 cup of cooked rice is going to come from half a cup of raw or dry rice. It gains water as you cook it. To keep things simple, if you weigh your food raw, then log it raw. And if you weigh it cooked, then make sure you input it into your food tracking app as it's cooked. Consistency is the most important thing here. It doesn't really matter if you're right as long as you keep it consistent, because then you can adjust things relatively through time. This small adjustment is going to help you keep your tracking much more accurate. Pro tip number 4, use copy and save features in your food tracking app. Most food tracking apps allow you to copy meals from the previous day or the previous meal, so you can create new recipes and save your most frequently eaten meals. Most people eat the same 8 to 10 meals or 20 total food items on repeat. So when you tend to eat the same breakfast or snacks, having them saved in your app is going to prevent you from having to enter them in manually each and every day. If you regularly cook the same dish, make sure you save it as a recipe so you can enter it the same way each and every time. Taking advantage of these type of features is going to save you a bunch of time. It's going to make the entire process of tracking much easier and feel less like a daily chore. And lastly, pro tip number 5, stay consistent, not perfect. Tracking macros is not about being 100% perfect. It's about being consistent enough to get results and learn about your food. Instead of stressing over exact numbers, try to be within a range of them, around 5 to 10 grams within your tracking target. If you eat out, make the best possible estimate and then move on. One untracked meal is not going to ruin your progress. And if tracking feels overwhelming, maybe start by just tracking your calories and protein and then move on to carbohydrates and fat as well down the road once you feel more comfortable. At the end of the day, macro tracking is a tool to help you get better results. It should fit as part of your life and not take control over it. And that's it. That's how to calculate and track your macro targets to help you lose fat. If you like today's video, you're gonna love the video I've linked up right here. Next up, I'm gonna show you how to use a food scale and some tracking hacks to make your macro counting even easier. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.